Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So I got to shoot Benfica in the Champions League just a few days ago against Chelsea in London, so Stamford Bridge. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience shooting another Champions League match. So from the accreditation all the way to getting back home and finally getting a good night's sleep. First things first, obviously accreditation. This isn't just any other game. I got to shoot for a Portuguese news outlet, so they sorted out the accreditation for me, which was lovely. And once I got that, then I got to take care of the logistics. So airplane, hotel, etc. All that involves around getting to the match and from the match. For me, that meant getting up at 4 in the morning on the day of the match and then getting back to the hotel around 1 a.m. So long day, but totally worth it. Another important part of prepping for a game like this has all to do with photo mechanic. So when you're in the game and you need to send those photos as they happen, it's very important to have software, in this case Photo Mechanic, which can import only the photos that you lock during the game so that you don't have to import everything, because time is money and efficiency is really crucial. With Photo Mechanic also you can create code replacements, in case you don't know what that is. Basically, it's shortcuts to make a longer caption. So for example, if I type .4. It will say Antonio Silva of Benfica. If I type .C8, it'll say Enzo Fernandez of Chelsea FC. So it makes macros for long text, and it helps a lot when you're captioning the pictures during the match. During this video, I will try to showcase a little bit of imagery and software so you can see what I'm talking about. So hopefully I will have added some of that footage in here. Speaking of preparation, talking about gear, I had to limit myself the amount of accessories that I took with me. So I had to take a smaller backpack so that I would be sure that it would fit underneath the seat in front of me. That meant taking less accessories, but the main gear was still there. So the two R6 Mark IIs, the 400mm, the 7200, the 16-35, obviously the monopod, and some rain covers, rain gear. Even though it was sunny, the forecast was sunny, I never take rain or weather forecasts seriously. I always prepare for the worst. As a photographer, I also think it's very important for you guys to be aware of all the stories that are being written about the specific match that you are going to cover. So the history between the two clubs. In this specific match, Enzo Fernandez was a Benfica player for 5 months and he transferred to Chelsea for 120 million in the January transfer market. So it was a very controversial transfer at the time, at least in Portugal. I'm sure Chelsea fans welcomed him open arms. So that was a key aspect to keep my eye on. But obviously the big story this time was the return of José Mourinho to Stamford Bridge, where he won a lot of trophies, and the fans really welcomed him quite a bit. During the match, they would chant his name quite often. At one point, he thanked them. So that was something I obviously wanted to keep my eye on. At 5 p.m., finally the doors opened for media. Checked in, got my photographer's bib, went inside, and then got to pick my spot. Because I was there so early, I was the first in line. So that meant that I got to pick my spot first. The only exception are the club's photographers that already have designated seats on both ends. So those you cannot touch. And one thing I didn't appreciate in Stamford Bridge is that photographers are only allowed to sit on one of the sidelines. No one is allowed behind the goal. So my favorite position, which is exactly that, so I can catch the players facing me as they're running. I didn't get to do that, but I still think I got a pretty good shot because I was somewhat lined up with the 18-yard line near the corner flag. So can't complain too much, but if I could pick, I would prefer to be seated near the goal so I'd catch the players coming towards me. Now, the day of the match, it was actually fantastic weather, so that means no rain, and every photographer removed the lens hood of their lenses so that it doesn't block the view of the guys sitting next to you. Now, I totally understand that, and I removed my lens hoods as well. I'm just not a big fan because I like to use the lens hood to protect the front element of the glass, because there's bumps happening all the time and I don't want scratches on the lens. But you play along with the rules, the photographer etiquette, if you can call it that, so you don't block the guy sitting next to you, to your left and to your right. So no lens hoods, and we were sitting like sardines. So when the play was really to my left, it was hard to get all of it because we were so close to each other. There's always a bit of a blocked view to the left of the frame. To my right, I only had the club photographer, so no one was blocking me really. As for the game itself, fantastic atmosphere. Both the away fans and the home fans constantly singing throughout the whole match. But let's just say that the goalkeepers didn't have that much action. So there was a lot of fighting for possession and a lot of the action in the midfield, but not that many danger shots. There was only one goal. Luckily, I got to capture the celebration because it was in the goal next to me. As a photographer, as a fan, I wasn't too happy about the team that scored, but it is what it is. But the stadium, fantastic atmosphere, absolutely fantastic. Now, as far as lighting is concerned, because us photographers, we love good light, well, it wasn't that great. I was shooting with both lenses at f2.8, shutter speed 1/1600, and ISO was anywhere between 4000 and 12,800, and that is insanely high. So with all the money that Chelsea have, here's to hoping that they can upgrade their lighting system to a modern LED lights. For example, Benfica Stadium, Estádio da Luz, has phenomenal lighting. So that's something that Chelsea could definitely improve, and for us photographers, that is absolutely crucial. Even with fast glass, that ISO was really high. And another thing is that it's not even across the pitch. It would fluctuate so much, so the lighting was not even at all, and that was very disappointing. As far as internet connection goes, they did have spots that you could connect a wire to, so if you have your own cable, you could connect no problem. They did have Wi-Fi for the photographers, but the signal would come and go, so it was not reliable at all. And when all the stadium was packed, the Wi-Fi would just disappear. You could try to hotspot into your phone, but there are so many people that the connection wasn't stable at all. So wired connection is definitely the way to go. Another interesting story, especially for people outside of the UK, the photographer next to me was shooting for a Portuguese newspaper, and he had one of those 5G modems, and it wouldn't connect at all. So before the game, he called the customer support for his network, and long story short, because of Brexit, his modem would not work outside of the EU. So any country within the European Union, it would work, but in the UK, it didn't work at all. So he had to use his mobile phone as a hotspot or connect with a wired cable. So keep that in mind, especially if you're not from the UK and you're traveling to the UK to shoot a game. Make sure that your 5G modem works or that you can use your phone as a hotspot. After the game was done, obviously stick around to edit a few more photos and chat with other photographers, which is something I always love to do. It's just chatting with other photographers before the match and after the match. During the match, I tend not to speak too much because I'm focused in my own work, and I'm sure they are as well. I don't want to bother anyone, and I want to be able to focus entirely on what's happening in front of me. But speaking to other photographers, you learn so much and you make connections. So I think that's one key aspect of being in this world, is mingling with other photographers who are doing the same. You learn and you teach, and you just, you share the experiences. And finally, obviously going back to the hotel, got to the hotel roughly at 1 a.m. Didn't sleep anything at all, but it is totally worth it. It was a very long day, almost 24 hours non-stop. But when you're running for love, like the Portuguese say, you don't get tired. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got to see a little bit of what it's like to shoot a match of this magnitude. And I hope I have showed some of the pictures along the way. And in a few weeks, there's another important match. I'll see you then.